about 15 years ago, I wanted a greenhouse, as my first one my husband made had got torn down and not moved, and so I invested in a hoop frame vendor, and I bent my hoops for my greenhouse and put in a 12 by 48 greenhouse. In the spring of 2020, we were tired of traditionally growing everything in the ground or in pots, so we took an adventure and started our own aquaponics. Aquaponics is raising fish to support yourself with plants. So we ordered in tilapia, but because of COVID, they didn't come in. We started with catfish, but by July, the tilapia came in, and we started what I deem to be a very successful endeavor. Because of COVID, shipping was messed up that first year, so we didn't get our tilapia in the timely manner. It took 5 months to get them. So I endeavored the next spring or January to figure out how to breed them. As you can see, this is January 2022's hatch, and we just had a small hatch in here. You can see the little guys running around. Highly successful at breeding these guys, which is supplying our tanks without having to order them. So let's enter the greenhouse. In here is where we have done chop and flip style IBC container growing. And each of one of these we have rock media. This is river rock that we've hauled in, and we're growing lettuce. I keep it pretty short because we eat off of it pretty good. I got kale, peppers, tomatoes. Here I got a massive amount of cucumbers. As you can see, there's some ready to harvest. I've already picked off these today. I'll have to pick again tomorrow. I got some dill growing in there, some cabbage. Over here is more cucumbers, tomatoes. Been harvesting tomatoes off of here for 2 months, maybe 3. Little cherry tomatoes all winter long. This is beets, using it for salad greens, and then we'll eventually let it grow out and get some beets off of it to harvest. Let's bring you back here. Okay, it's gonna come up. That bubble blur is making it hard to see, so I'll show you some more down here. Some tilapia down here. Overall, it's been very successful. You can see that there is a cucumber growing back here. These tomatoes were planted not too long ago. I'd say a month and a half. I already have some getting ready to bloom. It's June the 5th, and we have been harvesting out of here. Had green beans. See green beans here? I've already had 2 or 3 harvests of green beans. And for Iowa, and I got some tomatoes in the ground. We'll water them off of the system. Back here, these are a little later planting. Starting to stagger things. And you can see there are tilapia in there. Some of these, I get another ½ pound on them before I eat them. It's kind of hard to see size-wise. Let me see if there's some guys in there moving around for you. I have quite a few head in here. Back here, these are strawberries. It's an experiment we're doing. Did a lot of research. It looks like it's doing very well. We've harvested a lot of strawberries off of this already, and it's only been planted about 2 weeks. These are day neutral. They're not June bearing, which means that they will bloom and produce all summer long. Back here, these are the strawberries that have been harvested the last 2 days off of that, and cucumbers that have been picked. So what's going on with these tanks back here? This is the crux of the matter right here. The spring we had to flush these beds, and I harvested off all the fluid off of them because they had been used for 2 years. It got a lot of solid material from the fish waste in it. When we got it all off, we had over, I think it was 4,000 gallons of fluid. Tested it, and it had potassium phosphate, magnesium, calcium, in it. So because of the high prices of fertilizer, last year it cost us $10,000, and what cost us $10,000 to put on was going to cost us $20,000 this year. We opted to put on straight nitrogen and use the fish waste that we can put on anytime because it's water soluble on our fields with the phosphate and potash in it. And we're going to then test the fields in a year or so, see how they're doing, keep testing the water. So a couple weeks ago, instead of having to flush the beds, we put in what these call solid lifting outlets, where it lifts the solids that the fish put out off the bottom. It comes down in a drain line into this last IBC where it wells up in it. Right now I am flushing this tank out because it had some solution in it. It was ready to be cleaned out to go on the fields. That settles out in that tank, and then it overflows into this tank where it is with one pump, a DC pump at that, pumped back to the system and recirculated through. The water fills up in these, and then there is a bell valve, which you can see as the water fills up, it vacuums, decreases it, and it causes it to flow and suck it all out till it gets down and empties out and loses its vacuum. Another option on this is last winter we kept the tilapia as a tropical. We did have to keep the tilapia at 87 degrees for the winter, so we went to Wisconsin and bought a used central boiler for $500. We repaired it, put it in place, and we are currently continuing to heat the water on the cool days. It circulates through. The heating of the water heats the greenhouse. The fish were quite happy and warm all winter long. No loss from cold this winter. It's been a trial and error on the fish to figure out what works, and this really works well. Like I said, those strawberries down there are doing awesome, and looking forward, as I can say, I think we saved $10,000 on fertilizer this year with this system, so looking forward to expanding it.
This black solution is what we are harvesting off of the fish. It is tilapia fertilizer.
Okay, these are the tanks we're putting the solution into from the greenhouse. As you can see, it's pretty black down there. That bottom foot I'm filling right now. Okay, IBC containers. We're putting solution in. One's empty, one's full, ready to go.